course till summertime. Out to the beach to his boat, could I join him? No, this time it was me. Sunburn in the 3rd degree. Now the calendar's just one page. Of course I am excited. Tonight's the night I set my mind not to do too much about it.
So with my cover, I have a 12 by 12 sheet of canvas, and I'm folding it up 4 inches from the bottom to make pockets. So this means my sides are going to be 8 inches long and approximately 6 inches wide. However, we're going to need to leave room to put the signatures in here. So we really can't leave it for the full 6 inches. It's going to be a little bit shorter than that. So what I did is I was thinking about how to make a pocket. And I had a really cool idea, and what I did was take a sheet of paper and cut it off so that this will be the middle signature, and I will have a pocket on one side and a pocket on the other, and this is how I did it. First I took a 12 by 12 sheet of paper and I cut it down to just slightly less than 8 inches. This is actually 7 and a little bit over 7 3/4 inches, just to give me a little bit of wiggle room on the top and the bottom. And what I'm going to do is decide which part I would like to have up, and this is when I'll have this up, and I'm going to score at 5 1/4 here. And this will be my first fold. Then what I'm going to do, I guess I can move the scoreboard out of the way, is fold this longer side towards the middle, but probably not quite on the fold. I'm going to put it just a little bit off because I will need to be sewing in that area. And then when you fold this over, you get your pocket, and then you can cut the extra side off here. Now, if you just want to use a ring binder, you could probably go ahead and adhere this and almost be done. Since I'm going to be sewing this in, I need to make sure I can get at the middle, so I'm not going to adhere this quite yet. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this extra flap off here. Okay, so I cut the triangle off the edge, and now I have this flap here. I'm going to use some tissue tape on the inside just to keep that down. My sample ended up going around all the edges with tissue tape just because it was, the design wasn't as busy. So this is going to keep this flap down. I'm going to fold this here, and then if I flip it over, I have this extra piece here which I can use to make a pocket on this side. And it's slightly less than the edges, which is okay. You can use adhesive. Score tape is really good for making these pockets. I'm going to use the Best Glue Ever by Scrap Perfect. It is fabulous, fabulous glue, and it allows you to make a very fine line. This is a whoops, brand new bottle, and you need very little of it. So I'm just going to make a thin line on the sides. And this glue, when it dries tacky, so I think what I will do is wait a minute for the glue to dry, and when it's dry I'm going to flip it over and adhere it to my pocket. I'm not going to adhere this pocket yet. I will wait until I sew it in. And then here's the final book. You'll see where I sewed the signatures into the book here. And what I did is I sewed around the edge of the cover. So here's my pocket here, and I've used a glassine envelope so I can hide receipts, and This was the card I showed you. I made a pocket on this side. Here's our first pocket. You see now that it is sewn in, I have one here, and on the back side is another pocket. And the signature thread is hidden in between here. The back of the card, a calendar. I used the two edges of the glassine envelopes and I sandwiched a Hambly transparency between it. Another little tag, another pocket with a checklist. I got this somewhere online last year, and for the life of me I cannot figure out where I found it from. Fourth pocket, more room, and another secret receipt holder, and my final pocket here. So, like I said, what I like to do is I'm looking for places where I can hold lists. I can hold a copy of the many lists for Santa that my kids are making, and a list of what we've bought, what we think we might buy for them, and where they can't see it, and a checklist to help me keep track of what's coming up, a place I can hold recipes and what have you for our cookie exchanges and so forth. And there you have it. So I've decorated the cover. I cut off a square from Simple Stories. I used a Tim Holtz die to cut the 25 out. Used some of the Seasonal Distress ink and embossed it with clear embossing pattern, a couple more stamps. And that's all.